June 20th, 1942. A black convertible idles at the main gate of Auschwitz, history's most efficient death factory. The commandant's personal car is waiting at the checkpoint. The wooden barrier is down. An SS guard walks toward the driver's window, his hand drifting to his pistol. Here is what he does not see. The officer in the passenger seat weighs 40 kilos less than a healthy man. His uniform is hanging loose over bones sharpened by 2 years of starvation. And hidden in the back seat lies a secret document so explosive it could lose Germany the war. In the next 10 seconds, that starving prisoner will do something so audacious the guard will not just open the gate, he will salute him. 4 men are about to drive out the front door of the deadliest place on earth in the commandant's own car, wearing his uniform, carrying his guns. And the most insane part? It all started 19 days earlier with 5 whispered words from a man on the death list. Welcome to Prison Break Stories. Today we are looking at how 4 prisoners fooled the entire SS and what price Auschwitz extracted for their escape. Auschwitz operates on a simple principle. No one leaves alive. The camp's perimeter bristles with electrified fences carrying 6,000 volts. Watchtowers mount machine guns with overlapping fields of fire. Searchlights sweep the grounds throughout the night. In the camp's 18 months of operation, attempted escapes number in the dozens, successful escapes number in the single digits. Most end in corpses dangling from the wire. If you wear the striped uniform here, you learn one rule fast. Survival means invisibility. You do not plot, you do not hope, you endure each brutal hour until you cannot. On a gray morning in early June 1942, prisoner number 918 hauls concrete blocks across a workyard under the watchful eyes of armed guards. His name is Kazimierz Piechowski, but his friends call him Kajtek. He is 22 years old, a former Polish scout arrested for resisting the occupation. 2 years inside Auschwitz have carved the flesh from his bones and burned the innocence from his eyes. He has watched friends die. He has seen men beaten to death for walking too slowly. He has learned to expect nothing from tomorrow except more suffering. A figure falls into step beside him. Eugenius Bandera, a Ukrainian's mechanic with grease-stained hands and hollowed cheeks. Bandera's voice drops to a frequency only Kajtek can hear. His name appeared on the death list. The SS scheduled his execution within the week. Kajtek's hands keep moving, hefting the concrete as if nothing happened. His face betrays nothing. Inside, adrenaline floods his veins like ice water. The death list means the SS selected Bandera for termination, often by phenol injection directly to the heart, a method that kills in seconds and requires no ammunition. No appeal exists and no escape exists. Prisoners on that list simply vanish, their bodies added to the crematorium's endless workload. Except Bandera has something the Nazis do not know about. Access to every vehicle in the motor pool. His work assignment puts him within arm's reach of staff cars, trucks, and most importantly, Commandant Rudolf Haas's prized Steyr 2210 convertible. It is the fastest car in the entire camp. Now, here is where the story diverges from every other Auschwitz escape attempt. Most prisoners who tried to flee did it the obvious way, cutting through fences under cover of darkness, bribing guards for access to work details outside the wire, or hiding in outgoing shipments of goods. The SS anticipated all of it. They had refined their countermeasures through months of trial and bloody error. The deputy commandant made the consequences explicit during every roll call. For every successful escapee, 10 random prisoners would be selected for execution and reprisal. The math of escape was always the math of mass murder. But Bandera's plan does not involve sneaking out like hunted animals. He wants to drive out the front gate in an SS staff car, wearing SS uniforms, saluting the guards as they pass. If you are going to fool the most brutal regime in human history, you do not hide from them. You become them. Kajtek has his own secret advantage. His work assignment rotates him through the camp's storage warehouse, where the SS keeps confiscated uniforms, weapons, and equipment under minimal supervision. He knows where the Lugers are stored. He knows which tunics would fit malnourished bodies. 4 uniforms, 4 pistols, and 4 men pretending to be the master race. The pieces click together with terrifying clarity. To escape the devil, they must break into his wardrobe and wear his clothes, but they need 2 more conspirators willing to stake their lives on an insane gamble. Recruiting the wrong person means torture chambers and firing squads, not just for them, but for anyone the SS suspects of involvement. In Auschwitz, trust is the most dangerous currency of all. Who do you invite into a conspiracy when betrayal offers survival? And what kind of man agrees to a plan that sounds like suicide wrapped in stolen wool? The first recruit finds them before they can search. Stanislaw Jaster, 19 years old, another Polish scout imprisoned for underground resistance work. Jaster speaks fluent German, a skill he has concealed from guards for months, knowing it could mark him as useful and therefore dangerous. But he carries a secret far more valuable than language. Hidden in his barracks, wrapped in oilcloth, lies a 40-page report compiled by a resistance officer who volunteered to be sent to Auschwitz specifically to document its horrors. His report contains the first comprehensive eyewitness account of the camp's systematic extermination program. The gas chambers, the crematoriums, the medical experiments. If Jaster escapes, he can deliver this testimony to the Polish underground, and from there to London. The outside world will finally learn what Auschwitz actually is. The fourth conspirator comes from an unexpected source. Joseph Lempart, a Catholic priest in his 50s. Father Lempart has spent months administering last rites to dying inmates. His gentle demeanor masks a fury that prayer alone cannot contain. When Kochtek outlines the plan, Lempart crosses himself once and agrees without hesitation. It is June 1942. And 4 prisoners have exactly 11 days to prepare the most audacious escape Auschwitz will ever witness. They choose June 20th, a Saturday. Camp work details end at noon on Saturdays, and the guards grow lax as prisoners shuffle back to their barracks for the abbreviated weekend. Guard rotations thin out. The motor pool sits nearly empty during the midday break while mechanics eat lunch. The warehouses stand unattended. Their window of chaos will last perhaps 15 minutes. If they are not through the final gate by 12:15, they are dead men walking. Each conspirator draws a specific assignment. Bandera presses the motor pool key into a bar of soap when his supervisor turns away. That night, he files a duplicate from scrap metal, testing it twice to confirm it works. Kochtek loosens the bolt on a cellar trapdoor leading into the warehouse, creating an invisible entry point. Jaster memorizes German military phrases and practices the rigid posture of an SS enlisted man. Lempart prays and keeps watch. They establish a grim pact in the darkness of a barracks one night. If capture seems certain, each man will take his own life before interrogation begins. The SS torture methods could break anyone given enough time and pain, and broken men give up names. The plan demands split-second timing across multiple locations. At 11:30, all 4 will abandon their work details at staggered intervals and converge at an unfinished barracks on the camp's eastern edge. They will load a wooden garbage cart with kitchen waste and coal scraps, the perfect disguise for prisoners moving through restricted zones on cleanup duty. Then they will bluff past the inner gate separating the prisoner compound from the administrative area. Once through, they will ditch the cart, break into the warehouse through Kochtek's sabotage trapdoor, transform themselves into SS personnel, steal the commandant's car from the motor pool, and drive out the main gate while guards salute them. Each step requires either perfect deception or perfect luck. They will need both. June 20th, 1942, the day 4 ghosts decided to play God. At 5 minutes to noon, they descend from the attic and roll out the garbage cart. It reeks of potato peels, rotten cabbage, and coal dust. Flies swarm the heap in black clouds. Kochtek and Bandera grip the front handles. Jaster and Lempart steady the sides. They shuffle toward the inner gate, matching the exhausted trudge of every other prisoner in Auschwitz. Shoulders hunched, eyes down. Above them, iron letters spell out the camp's obscene promise. Work sets you free. In less than an hour, those words might actually come true. The inner gate guard shifts his weight. He glances at 4 filthy prisoners pushing a cart of garbage toward the administrative zone. The smell hits him first. For 3 seconds that stretch into years he considers demanding identification. Then he waves them through with a bored gesture. They are inside the administrative zone. Still within Auschwitz, but past the first barrier. They ditch the cart behind the warehouse in a shadow between buildings. Kochtek leads them to the cellar trapdoor he sabotaged. The bolt slides free. One by one, they drop into cool darkness and climb a wooden ladder to the first floor. The warehouse stands silent. Upstairs, a locked door bars access to the second-floor storeroom. Jaster throws his shoulder against it. The old wood cracks. A third impact splinters the frame entirely. They are inside. Inside, there are rows of SS uniforms hanging on metal racks. Shelves stacked with Luger pistols and leather holsters. Mauser rifles standing in wooden racks. An arsenal guarded by nothing but a door. They strip off lice-ridden prisoner stripes and pull on the uniforms of their tormentors. Kojtek buckles the tunic of a second lieutenant. Jaster and Lempart dress as enlisted men. The transformation happens in under 4 minutes. 4 skeletal prisoners become 4 SS personnel. Kojtek catches his reflection in a cracked mirror propped against the wall. A Nazi officer stares back, hollow-eyed but dressed in the uniform of absolute authority. The disguise does not just change his appearance, it changes how others will perceive him. Guards who would shoot a prisoner on sight will salute this reflection instead. The uniform is psychological camouflage, a license to exist in spaces where prisoners vanish. He holsters a loaded Luger pistol at his belt. Outside, an engine coughs to life. Bandera has reached the motor pool. Using his duplicate key, he slips into the garage undetected. The Commandant's Steyr 22 sits gleaming in the shadows. He slides behind the wheel, inserts the key, and coaxes the engine to life. He guides the car around to the warehouse loading area. 3 SS men emerge from the warehouse and climb into the convertible. Kojtek takes the front passenger seat, the commanding officer's position. Bandera slides behind the wheel. Jaster and Lempart settle into the back, rifles across their laps. The hidden report tucked inside Jaster's tunic. For a moment, they all pause. This is really happening. Then Bandera floors the accelerator. The car surges forward. They have the uniforms. They have the car. But they lack the one thing that decides life or death: the transit papers. As they follow the internal road toward the main gate, an SS private spots the Commandant's car and snaps to attention. His arm shoots upward in a rigid salute. Kojtek returns a cold nod without slowing. The private never glances twice at the skeletal faces behind the windshield. He sees only the uniforms and the authority. More guards salute as they pass. Each one could be the end. Each one waves them forward instead. In the back seat, Lempart mouths silent prayers. And then, through the windshield, they see it. Main gate. The final barrier between Auschwitz and freedom. A wooden beam topped with coils of barbed wire. An SS sergeant standing guard. Beyond him, open road and forests where 4 men might disappear forever. But the barrier stays down. The sergeant stares at the approaching car with mounting suspicion. What authorization could they possibly offer? The duty roster shows no scheduled transits. His hand drifts toward his pistol. His eyes narrow as he tries to identify the occupants through the glare. Inside the car, Kojtek tracks the closed barrier with mounting dread. 80 meters, and it is still down. 60 meters. His heart slams against his ribs. 30 meters. The sergeant is frowning now, trying to make out faces. 20 meters. Bandera's foot eases onto the brake. The wooden beam does not move. The convertible stops 3 meters from the gate. Silence descends like a held breath. The engine idles. The sergeant starts toward the driver's window, his boots crunching gravel. Confusion and suspicion war across his face. Kojtek's mouth goes dry. They have no papers. If the sergeant demands credentials, they have exactly 2 choices: open fire and die, or surrender and face the torture chambers. From the back seat, Lempart's voice comes as a bare whisper. Do something now. German words explode from the passenger window like artillery fire. Kojtek hurls himself half out of the car, his face twisted into a mask of manufactured fury. He screams at the sergeant with every ounce of rage he has accumulated in 2 years of degradation. The German phrases pour out in the guttural bark of a man who executes subordinates for minor infractions. The sergeant stumbles backward as if physically struck. His hand leaves his holster. His posture collapses into terrified submission. Instinct overcomes suspicion. No prisoner would dare speak to an SS man this way. No prisoner would possess the vocabulary or the sheer entitled fury of a Nazi officer. The sergeant's training takes over. When a superior officer screams, you obey. Questions come later. The barrier rises. Bandera does not wait for it to clear the top of the car. He slams the accelerator to the floor. The car rockets forward, ducking under the wooden beam with centimeters to spare. For one frozen instant, Kojtek locks eyes with the sergeant as they roar past. Then the gate is behind them. Auschwitz is behind them. They are out. Outside the reach of electrified fences and crematoriums, Bandera is driving the commandant's car through the commandant's gate on the exact second anniversary of his arrival at Auschwitz as a prisoner. 730 days of hell ended in 15 minutes of audacity. Behind them, alarms begin to ring. But the convertible is already accelerating toward the tree line, vanishing into the shadows of the forest. In the days that follow, the four men separate to improve their survival odds. Jaster heads for Warsaw, carrying the report against his chest like a sacred relic. That document reaches the Polish underground, then London, becoming one of the first detailed accounts of the extermination program to land on Allied desks. Back at Auschwitz, Commandant Rudolf Haas erupts in humiliated fury. 4 starving prisoners outmaneuvered the master race. Weeks later, Haas orders a new policy. All prisoners must be tattooed with permanent identification numbers. Never again will an escapee assume a new identity with a simple uniform change. The mark of Auschwitz will be seared into skin forever. But the cruelty deepens because 4 men proved the system could be beaten. They showed that even in absolute darkness, the impossible remains possible if you are willing to become the thing that terrifies you. Thank you for watching this incredible journey. If you want to hear more mind-blowing tales of human survival and ingenuity against impossible odds, hit that subscribe button and join our community here at Prison Break Stories. And if you thought escaping Auschwitz in a stolen car was crazy, wait until you hear about the man who broke out of a Japanese maximum security prison using nothing but a soup bowl. That story is waiting for you in our next video. Stay tuned and stay free.